Hey guys, welcome back to Texas Young Guns. In this video, we're going to tackle why we switched from the motorhome to the fifth wheel. We're not going to review fifth wheels because we feel like that's going to have to take some time.
Yeah, we want to give it its due diligence.
But we're going to tackle why did we make the change.
Yep, this is a question that family, friends, you out there, everybody's been asking. So we figured we'll just clear the room, the big elephant in the room, as to why we did it.
So let's get right into it. Alright, so I know a lot of you guys don't know me personally, or Lana for that matter, although maybe we'll get big enough one day for you to feel like you know us personally.
Yeah.
But we have lots of projects. We're still a young-ish couple, Texas Young Guns, I guess.
Ish.
Early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
And we have tons of projects that come with being in your early 30s. Our house, I have a 54 Chevy truck, our shop, the RV situation.
We have a lake house.
Yeah, well, we inherited it, so no, we're not rich.
No, we're not, but we have to maintain it, you know, just...
But the normal projects you have when you're in your early 30s.
On top of your careers.
Yep, and we just need less projects in our life. As you know, if you watch our channel, we're all about enjoying life now, which is why we even have an RV in our early 30s. Because we wanted to get out and enjoy life now, not wait till you're retired, you know, with like the older mentality. So having the fifth wheel, or excuse me, the motorhome, along with all of our other projects, was just flat wearing me out. I just couldn't do it all anymore and still enjoy life.
It was starting to wear him down. He was getting quite tired, and you could tell that, you know, he was reaching his breaking point.
And I'm a redhead, so we get quite cranky.
Very.
So as you know, with the price of motorhomes these days, and I guess always...
Always.
Yeah, they're always a lot more pricier than trailers. So in order for us to get something new, we weren't going to be able to, or newer I should say, we weren't going to be able to stick it out with the motorhome. And also with motorhomes, they're kind of maintenance hogs. You know, because I have to give engineers credit. People always give motorhomes a bad rap. But think about it, you're having to build a house that has 12 volt, which is like battery stuff, your 110, which is your normal plug-in style stuff, and it has to drive down the road without falling apart and function correctly. And I have to give engineers a lot of credit for doing that. Yeah,
it's pretty amazing what they were able to do there.
Yeah, but unfortunately, with all of that put together in one package, it becomes a maintenance nightmare, especially when you're like us in our early 30s who are doing pretty well. And can even afford to get into it to begin with, but you got to buy something older if you want a motorhome, especially a diesel pusher, and with that comes a lot of maintenance.
I mean, think about it. You're essentially marrying like an older-ish house that has maintenance, plus an older-ish vehicle that needs maintenance, and you've married them together, so you're getting double the maintenance.
Yeah, and we're involved with several forums, some that are very good. If you have a Fleetwood Discovery, I highly encourage you to join the Discovery Owners Group.
Lifesavers.
Huge help to us, and even they thought we were crazy, as young as we are, to get into a motorhome diesel pusher. But with our go-to attitude, it worked for us at the time that we had it.
Yep. So in that sense, our weekends that we weren't out on the road started to become weekends of fixing our motorhome here at home.
Yeah, our motorhome, our first motorhome, our 99, I guess you could argue we didn't have long enough to really know, but it wasn't that much of a maintenance hog, but our number 2 motorhome, Bluebonnet, definitely was. She was put away wet, as they say. Is that an appropriate saying for YouTube?
I don't know. We'll see. But, I mean, it was maintenance that we were having to do at home. And which is going to lead us to the next reason is we were starting, I'm always an anxious person, but even he was starting to get travel anxiety. And so what I mean by that is once we get down the road, I was worried about how the trip was going to be. Oh my gosh, what are we going to have to fix after we get home from this trip? Are we going to make it to our destination? Is everything going to be okay? Like, the travel started to be not as enjoyable because I was anxious about traveling in something that we were constantly having to maintain and fix.
Yeah, and if you know me personally, you know that I'm overly calm, which honestly makes you kind of upset sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't react the way that she wants me to. You know, guys, I think you know what I'm talking about. But even I was starting to stress out whenever we would go out on trips. And the whole point of us getting into it, and we've said this in past videos, was that, you know, was to enjoy, to get out and relax. You know, you weren't married to it. And we were starting to cross that line from really enjoying the experience to being more stressful than joyful, so.
Right. So we kind of knew at that point it might be time to kind of switch our paths.
Yeah, step back and take a look at options.
So at this point, it was obviously the signs were pointing that it was time for us to make a change. We were always intrigued by the fifth wheel world, honestly. And he already had the truck for it. So what better time than now? You know, we were ready for new experiences, something different. We'd had 2 motorhomes. We were ready to have a new set of eyes on something, and so we were in the fifth wheel.
So if you've already been in the RV world, you know, if you own a motorhome, you're always curious about what having a fifth wheel is like. If you have a fifth wheel, you always are curious about what having a motorhome is like. Well, the time just seemed to be right for us to see what was on the other side of the fence.
And like we said, we will eventually do a video comparing the two because they are honestly quite different. But we want to give it its due diligence before we do any kind of video over that.
Yeah, people are always quick to jump, I guess, to get views and stuff to do a comparison. But we want to give it its fair shake. Now, we're not going to make you wait several months or years. We'll probably be ready to do a comparison within a month or two.
Yeah.
But we're going to give it its fair shake before we do it.
Yep.
Alright, so that brings us to our 5th and final point. All that being said, with COVID and everything being ridiculous in pricing, now was the time to do it, if we were going to do it. Because right now, as you know, this is a seller's market. RVs and everything else are being sold at a ridiculous price. I mean, used cars are being sold more expensive than new cars.
Yeah, and they're begging for used cars. They're begging for used RVs. I mean, it's extremely low inventory. So with everything going on and all of these reasons that we just mentioned to you, all the cards kind of fell into place for us.
Yep. In fact, we're down the road now where we put Bluebonnet on the market and she just about sold on the same day.
She did. And you could argue that, okay, you're saying it's a seller's market, so why are you going to go out and buy? Well, it just goes to show you that things work out that are supposed to. So we lucked out by finding the right deal, which is the Durango that we're in now. So it just it was a little easier on our heart because everything worked out. You know, they say everything happens for a reason, and we really feel like that's kind of what happened here.
Yeah, it couldn't have slid into place more easily. We found a couple who had bought this. Unfortunately, she has vertigo and it's gotten worse. So they've only had it for a few months. So essentially, we got to buy a brand new RV, but didn't take as much as the depreciation hit.
Right.
Well, guys, we just wanted to let you into our world. Why we made the change, why it seemed to come out of nowhere. We can actually promise you that it didn't just come out of nowhere. That stress level had been rising for a while.
Yeah, it had been something that had been on our minds and our hearts for a while. So while it might seem to y'all like it was an abrupt, it really wasn't. It had been something that we had been talking about and thinking about for quite some time.
That being said, we are absolutely not going to talk bad about the motorhome world.
No.
We still believe that form of travel would probably work best for us, but at this point in our life, we didn't want to spend 6 figures on a motorhome that we would like.
No.
So we're going with the second best option, and let me tell you, so far it is not a bad option. This is a fantastic fifth wheel.
Yep, so that's our why. That's been our most asked question. Second, probably most asked question is, yes, we're keeping the Jeep.
We are. Honestly, the smart thing to do would have been to get rid of it.
Sell it as a package deal.
Somebody loves the Jeep way too much to get rid of it.
Yep.
In fact, we just spent the money to put a 4-inch lift on it and some big old 35s. So
that was his idea.
It was. We're both in love, guys. I don't see us getting rid of the Jeep for a while.
So we'll still have Jeep adventures, and so you'll see that on the channel as well.
But our biggest advice we always give: do not marry yourself to your RV. Allow yourself to take adventures outside of your investment, or you will come to hate it. That being said, I want to take Jeep adventures in the future, which will not involve an RV.
Well, our first one will. That's coming up.
Yeah, it will.
So I'll be driving the Jeep, and you'll be driving the Durango with your truck. So.
Yep. Well, guys, we're not going to ramble on too long.
Nope.
So we hope you guys enjoyed this little video telling you why we made the change, and we are excited to compare the two in the future, and we hope that you stick around to watch. So we'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.